I'm gonna say something that's controversial, but you know in your heart is true. High School Musical is one of the, if not the best, Disney Channel original movie to ever exist. Point blank, period. Throw your gloves down, we are dueling over this. The last time I saw this movie was over a decade ago, but let me tell you, it has never left my mind since. Kenny Ortega's magnum opus of musical entertainment is in every crevice of my brain, okay? I cannot remember what I ate for lunch yesterday or what medications I'm allergic to at the doctor's office, but when I tell you I knew the end of every piece of dialogue in this movie despite seeing it 10 years prior. If I was in a coma right now, and the part of the movie where Troy asked his teammates what team was on, I would spring to life and I would scream, "Wildcats, get your head in the game." That is how serious I am about memorizing everything in this film. Okay, now for those of you who are watching and have never seen this film or the High School Musical, the musical series, gosh, that's a mouthful, you're in for a treat. Let me tell you, young Zac Efron was my everything. At the age of 8, I was planning our future together. Honestly, I could do a whole video on how obsessed I was with Zac Efron from the ages of 8 to 11, but I don't think that would be terribly interesting and most of all probably concerning, so let's just watch the movie. Our story starts out in a ski lodge on New Year's Day in Colorado or Utah or the Poconos. I don't actually know. They don't really say, but it doesn't matter because this is where our main characters meet. First, we get to see Gabriella, the shy bookworm.
Gabby, it's New Year's Eve. Enough reading.
Oh, but Mom, I'm almost done and...
The teen party? I've laid out your best clothes. Come get ready.
Aw, look at her, so innocent and introverted. Little does she know that her world is about to get rocked by East High's MVP, 5'8" basketball champion, Troy Bolton.
Troy, they have a kids' party downstairs in the Freestyle Club.
Kids party?
Young adults. Now go, shower up.
One more. Last one. Real quick.
One more, Mom. The theater boy point is taking me out. I feel like he's gonna break out into song any second. And he just might, because at the kids' party, he gets dragged on stage to do something so heinous, they don't even implement this torture in prisons. Karaoke.
Hey, you know what? Someday you guys might thank me for this. Or not.
My favorite part about this scene is that no one is watching, but Troy is mortified. His whole basketball career is just flashing before his eyes. If I sing, then I can't swoosh ball at the same time because singing is girly pop and basketball manly. Dude, let's be real for a second. You're 5'8". You're not going pro one day. Nothing against my short kings, but I think a career in singing actually might be more feasible than a basketball career.
Now who'd have ever thought that we'd both be here tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, the jacket is coming off. Oh, I'm sorry. The sports coat. Yes, the sports coat. Side note, why the bleep are these high schoolers dressing like middle-aged corporate employees? Troy Bolton over here's got a sports coat on. Who wears that? Who at 17? Who is wearing that? One of my favorite parts about rewatching this movie is just the fashion choices. These kids are dressed like they've got a lease to pay on a used Subaru and 2 kids they regret having with a man who punches the wall every time his football team loses. But Troy has swoopy Justin Bieber bangs, so he can pull the ladies even if he dresses like he works at the office mat. Like, just watch how skillfully Troy rizzes up Gabriella right now.
That is the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you.
I love how Troy goes from wanting to leave the stage mortified to being like, wait, this is my calling, and pushing Gabriella off of it so he can do a solo. I fear this is a canon event for any theater kid. You get a little taste of the applause, and then suddenly you're in a grocery store and you start singing under your breath, hoping that someone will pass by and hear and say,
She's really good.
but before Troy has a chance to stoop to that level of validation seeking, he exchanges numbers with Gabriella.
Well, just so you know, singing with you was the most fun I've had on this entire vacation. So, where do you live?
Okay, so we've got our classic Cinderella story. Boy meets girl singing duet at ball full of teens wearing J. Crew. They exchange numbers on their Motorola flips. It turns midnight, she dips. But what Troy does next really is the cherry on top of the Cinderella parallel.
Gabriella.
Not the look into the distance where he tastes the flavor of her name on his lips. That is so insanely theater boy coded. I also love that instead of holding a glass slipper, he's got a pixelated image of her on his 2006 flip phone. Ugh, so romantic. But as we know from any good Cinderella story, magic after midnight is fleeting, and soon it is time for Troy to go back to East High, where he has to meet certain expectations from his friends.
Because in 2 weeks, we're going to the championships, with you leading us to infinity and beyond.
Okay, I need to see what the other team looks like. If Troy, all 5'8" of him, is your MVP player. Again, I am not hateful towards short guys. If you told me that Troy was the MVP of, I don't know, tennis, golf, rowing, okay, I would be like, yeah, all right, I buy that star prowess. But the one sport that you need to have the height, basketball, he is leading the charge on. Who are they versing? Who are they versing? Are they 10-year-olds? Is it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? How are they winning? We need a full investigation into this. Okay, I fear I will never overcome this height thing, so for the sake of everyone watching, I'm gonna suspend my disbelief. This is a fictional world, even though I know that Zac Efron is 5'8". Troy Bolton, he's 6'4" and a half. And this Goliath is in for a surprise when he sees who the new girl is in his homeroom.
Hey,
I don't
believe it.
I mean,
Either. But how?
well, my mom's company transferred her here to Albuquerque.
Why did he approach her like that? If I was Gabriella and some dude popped out of the corner and started whisper speaking to me, I would think he was asking me to, like, I don't know, like join a cult or something. Why is he talking like that?
Why are you whispering?
What? Oh, well, you know, my friends know about the snowboarding. I haven't quite told them about the singing thing. Hey, what's up?
Oh, okay, so you pounced on her like a creep and started whispering because if your friends saw you with her, then they would make the connection that talking to girl means that you like singing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you don't think about it. So ridiculous, but I have to cut him some slack. You know, he's just a lunkhead athlete. The only thing he's got going on in his mind is #ballislife. Do you remember that when that was a thing? Why was that a thing? Anyway, even if he wanted to sing, there's an obstacle that might be larger than his pride. East High's blonde prima donna, Sharpay Evans.
Were you going to sign up too? My brother and I have starred in all the school's productions, and we really welcome newcomers. There are a lot of supporting roles in the show.
It's so crazy watching this now because I have met people in real life that are like this. I want to say, oh, she's just a caricature of a musical theater girl, but no, some people are that cutthroat about it. I've had people tell me,
don't bother to audition for this role because I'm gonna get it.
and then I get it, and then they get supporting or worse, ensemble. I mean, like JoJo Siwa says, karma's a word that I can't say in this commentary because it's rated PG. But Sharpay isn't the only one discouraging Troy from singing. His own best friend is even less understanding.
You ever think LeBron James or Shaquille O'Neal auditioned for their school musical?
Maybe. Troy.
Look, the music in those shows isn't hip-hop, okay, or rock, or anything essential to culture.
Chad saying that Shaquille O'Neal didn't do plays while also doing like jazz theater stretching is just too good. I can't believe you're doing musical theater, Troy. Don't you know they use like makeup and costumes? It's honestly disgusting. Chad, look in the mirror. This whole movie is just an entire high school filled with repressed theater kids. I mean, look at Troy try to get his friends to practice.
All right, Wildcats, pair up. Let's go.
He literally skips into position. All right, Wildcats, pair up. Like, Troy. But if that doesn't solidify his calling for the stage, look at Troy's hands in this next part and tell me that man has never seen a musical.
Why am I feeling so wrong? My head's in the game.
The single spotlight, the flexed hands. He has studied. He has done this before. But unfortunately for Gabriella, I don't think she's ever attended a public school before because why does she say this to the teacher?
Shouldn't the second equation read 16 over pi?
16 over pi? That's quite impossible. I stand corrected.
In no world, not even a fictional universe, do teachers like when students correct them. I understand why Sharpay hated Gabriella. I would too. I don't need to know it all in class. That's my job. But wait, for real, when I was in school, I was kind of like Gabriella, not the shy introverted genius, just the fact that I needed to correct the teachers anytime I saw it was wrong, which is so bad. Like I was the kid who would remind the teacher that she forgot to give out homework. Oh, okay, I've evolved now. I've changed. I'm a changed person. I know that it was bad. See, now I've replaced my need for academic validation with viewership on YouTube. It's very healthy. Anyway, back to the story. Troy's in hot water right now because he skipped basketball practice, heaven forbid, to paint sets in detention.
Where's my team, Darvis? What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
It's called crime and punishment, Bolton.
This is nepotism. Yes, it is. Sing it with me. If he was not the coach's son, there is no way that Coach Bolton would come in here and actually care this much about his players missing pride. I actually have never seen a character as one-dimensional as Troy's dad. The only thing he talks about this entire movie is basketball. It's like he had Troy just so that he could vicariously play basketball through him. I swear if Troy gets a career-ending injury, I don't think his dad would ever speak to him again.
Did you ever think about trying something new, but were afraid of what your friends might think?
You mean like going left? You're doing fine. Come on.
Oh, poor Troy. He's trying so hard to have a heart-to-heart with his dad, and the entire time his dad is like, oh, this is just game talk. He's just making an analogy about basketball. Can you imagine if Troy actually had something really serious to discuss? Watch your back, son. I'm going for the hoop. Yeah, Dad, I'm having an issue. What? Guarding the ball? You got to fake left and break right. No, not that. I'm gonna be a team dad. A team player? You always are, son. No, a dad. Troy, son, please call me coach when we're at school. Okay, never mind, I'll talk to mom. And then what really makes me laugh is the fact that Troy's dad tries to divert the heart-to-heart, and he's like, you gotta focus on what really matters, right? And I'm thinking that's gonna be family, friends, something in that vein. But I think we both know what he was referring to is actually...
Dad, I'm not
There's
talking...
gonna be college scouts at our game next week, Troy. You know what scholarship is worth these days?
A lot.
Troy's house is larger than my public library. He doesn't need a scholarship, all right? I think you've got that one covered, Dad. But I don't know, maybe you've got a secret gambling addiction. But Troy doesn't know that, and he thinks it's covered because he skips basketball practice to go to the audition. Why is this school bigger than most college campuses? I would need like a golf cart to get around just to get to this audition. Troy has to go through hallways, stairwells, alleyways, a garage, okay? And then he makes it to the auditorium, which looks like it belongs in Lincoln Center. But even if he showed up late for this audition, I think he'd be okay because his competitors are, well, you'll see.
But you were right beside me.
In fact, maybe he could just smile. You know, he's got pretty privilege. His face guard does not decline. But Sharpay and her brother at the audition, so maybe he does have to worry.
I've never had someone as good for me as you. No one like you.
Wait, hold on. Sharpay and her brother are auditioning for romantic leads? All right, I have an excuse, okay? I was 8 when this movie came out. It went over my head, but now that I'm watching it with fresh eyes, how did no one notice this? How did no one point this out? I feel like this is like a glaring error here. Like, that has to be so uncomfortable for your parents to have to explain to people.
So who are your kids playing?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I hear you wrong?
No, you didn't. They're not adopted. In fact, they're twins. Oh, okay. Enjoy the show. Maybe I didn't recognize how weird that was as a kid, but Troy surely did because he's about to hightail it out of there after watching that.
I'd like to audition, Miss Darbus.
Timeliness means something in the world of theater, young.
I love the hands. The hands are my favorite part of this whole movie. Like, they're so dramatic. If Troy had a Musical.ly when it came out, he would have done numbers. He's got those anime hands down to a science. Honestly, if he's not careful, the next movie could be him deciding between Cosplay Club or basketball. But not in this movie because my boy Troy gets a callback.
Callback? Is this some kind of joke? They didn't even audition.
Maybe we're being punked.
It is just a callback, and if you guys think you're so good, then you'll end up getting picked in the end, so what are you worried about? Also, if you thought Sharpay's reaction was extra, just watch Chad's.
What's wrong? What?
No, my bro tried out for a musical? What, is he gonna sign up to be a eunuch next? Oh my god, that's so beta male of him. I have to go find him and remind him how Sigma he is. Chad, get a grip. Touch some grass. Your friend signs up for a musical to get with a girl. That's dedication and you should be taking notes, but no, Chad has to process his very manly emotions through a song, of course.
Well, if Troy can tell his secret, then I can tell mine. I bake. What? I love to bake. Strudel, scones, even apple pandowdy.
Really? That is the earth-shattering secret you have to share? You make some mean creme brulee. All right, are you selling it illegally? Is it laced with something? Because that is not a secret. That is a hobby. The internalized homophobia is rampant in this school. Miss Darbus really needs to have a seminar. Okay, it is not feminine to have hobbies. These basketball players act like the only thing that your masculinity is defined by is how good men shoot ball. Are we cavemen?
You missed a free period workout yesterday to audition for some heinous musical, and now suddenly people are confessing. Yeah, and Zeke. Zeke is baking creme brulee.
Okay, Chad is too pressed over people having different interests besides what they express in school. I'm gonna say something, and I know it's gonna be controversial, and you guys can have a discourse with me in the comments, but I think Chad is in love with Troy. I mean, think about it. Anytime Troy brings up a girl, Chad is like, get your head in the game. Okay, everything, life is basketball. And then when he hears that he's singing, he is irrationally unsupportive of him because that means that he's taking time away from him hanging out with him and playing basketball. I mean, it could be jealousy, but it seems a little deeper. And in a weird turn of events, Chad isn't the only one who thinks there's something suspicious going on with Troy's involvement in theater. Miss Darbus thinks so as well and goes to find Troy's dad to have a chat.
Heads up.
I don't claim to be a police officer or a lawyer, but Miss Darbus walking through a men's locker room filled with underage boys? Seems a little illegal. I imagine there was a lot of angry phone calls from parents after that. But while Miss Darbus and Coach Bolton exchange words, Troy and Gabriella are at their rendezvous spot where they talk about their favorite topic. Why it's so hard for Troy to sing and do basketball at the same time. Can we talk about anything else, please?
I don't know what he's gonna say when he finds out about the singing.
You worried?
My parents' friends are always saying, your son's the basketball guy. You must be so proud.
I swear, anytime they're together, this is the only conversation they have. I don't know anything about Gabriella. Ask her a question. What's her favorite color? Where is her dad this entire series? Troy is so hung up on this one stupid conflict, he ignores everyone around him. Like, get to know the girl, okay? Other people have problems, Troy. Like your girlfriend, when your dad tells her to get lost.
That girl is named Gabriella. She's very nice.
Well, helping you miss practice doesn't make her very nice.
Dad, she's not a problem. She's just a girl.
But you're not just a guy, Troy. You're the team leader.
This is high school basketball. Why are we acting like Troy is the sun and the universe circles around him? Gabriella Montez is an award-winning math genius. She's not just a girl, but your son, your swoopy-haired, sweaty son, he is just a guy. Don't get it twisted. But no matter what Gabriella does, everyone is obsessed with Troy because even Chad steps in again to talk to him in the library.
How can you expect the rest of us to be focused on a game if you're off somewhere in leotards singing Twinkle Town?
No one said anything about leotards.
Someone needs to take that emotional support basketball away from Chad. Why is he carrying that into the library? That's like if I went grocery shopping with my play button. It's weird, but not as weird as Troy's teammates and Gabriella's decathlon teammates teaming up to do this.
Gabriella is not important. I'll forget about her. I'll forget the audition, and we'll go out and get that championship. Everyone happy now?
Okay, so let me get this straight. You set up your friend in front of a camera and get him to denounce his girlfriend so you can win a basketball game? Literally psychotic. You're that invested in sticking to the status quo that you're willing to completely ruin your friend/teammate's whole relationship? Why have enemies when you have teammates like this? Poor Gabriella takes the news so hard she starts singing to a giant poster.
It's like you were floating while I was falling, and I didn't mind.
I've got so many questions right now, and none of it has to do with the song. Why is she singing and no one cares? She's singing so loudly in this hallway, and not a teacher pops their head out. Is the school just that big, or are they just used to it at this point? Also, I've definitely referenced this in other commentaries, but why did High School Musical make me believe that there was just giant posters of students on the wall? Like, at some point in my high school career, I was convinced that I'd be singing to a picture of myself or like a giant blown up picture of my boyfriend. Also, who paid for that poster? That thing is huge. What was that, like $1,000? I mean, the quality on it, honestly, maybe it's even more. The taxes in this town must be insane. While I Google the average income of people in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Troy is in his backyard feeling very downtrodden about Gabriella's sudden change of heart toward him. Gah! I love how Napoleon Dynamite core this is. Troy has been trying to have a heart-to-heart with his dad this entire movie, and all he had to do is play basketball poorly, and his dad is like, man, I really gotta talk to my son, something's wrong. And his friends see it too, because they also go find him at his rendezvous point.
Yeah, if singing is something you want to do, we should be boosting you up, not tearing you down. Yeah, I mean, win or lose, we're teammates. Okay, that's what we're about. Even if you turn out to be the worst singer in the world.
Their motives here are so transparent. They do not care about Troy and his feelings. They literally just want his mojo back so he can win the game. He really needs new friends, ones that don't encourage him to do this.
This could be the start of something new.
Stalker much, dude? That's so creepy. He reminds me of that one TikToker, Harry Daniels, who finds celebrities and sings to them. Except this is so much worse because he trespasses into her backyard and sneaks onto her balcony. What if she was changing? What if that wasn't her balcony? You've never been to her house? That could have been her mom's. I know movies always portray this as hot. Like, oh, he really wants you that badly that he'll sneak onto your balcony. No. If I see you on my balcony, you're getting pepper spray. But it works for Gabriella because after his little serenade, she is back in love with Troy and ready to sing for callbacks.
Callbacks the same time as the game?
And the Scholastic Decathlon.
Why would they do that?
I smell a rat named Darbus.
Actually, I think it's 2 rats. Neither of them named Darbus.
Okay, here's a crazy thought, but why don't you just ask Miss Darbus to switch it? I never understood this in this movie. Like, obviously, Sharpay and Ryan changed it, so it'd be a problem for them, but why couldn't you ask to change it back? But I guess no one's bright here, not even the math champion Gabriella Montez. But you know what would really help in this conflict? If Troy could talk to someone, right? Maybe a fatherly figure. Maybe someone he could really connect to without having to talk about basketball.
Because what I really want is to see my son having the time of his life playing the game we both love.
This dude never changes his tune, and I love it. All right, get out there, son. Like, dude, this was supposed to be a pivotal moment in your relationship. You've seen how downtrodden your son is, having to choose between singing and basketball, and you're just like, okay, have a good game. Like, what? But I guess every character can't be dynamic or age appropriate. What is this kid doing at callback?
Shall we soar together?
I'm guessing this kid is a freshman, but he looks 12 years old. And it's so funny to me because I usually comment on these movies about how old the high schoolers look. And right now I'm like, where's his parents? But even more perplexing at why this child is running callbacks is who chose this next song?
Mucho gusto.
Ay, qué fabulosa.
Who let these two very white individuals do a Spanish number for their callbacks? And full costumes, by the way. For people who have been in many shows, it doesn't really showcase that here because you would know that you don't wear a costume to callbacks. That's just odd. Also, from what I've heard about the show, there's nothing Spanish inspired here, so why are you choosing this song for callbacks? That's like if I went to a callback for Annie and I chose the song WAP. Sharpay and Ryan may have no clue how auditions work, but I think Troy and Gabriella are worse because they have no clue how expensive it is to sabotage the events they're in.
We seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties.
Breaking the electrical system for the game board? I mean, that could be thousands to repair. Okay, you just created what I'm assuming is a biohazard to get people out of this classroom so you can go to a callback. I've said it before and I will say it again. High school is not that serious. You are costing your parents so much money and possibly like harming other people. A biohazard in the classroom just so you can get somewhere that's not even an actual show. Rich kids are crazy. The song is great, people are loving it, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to know is where the drums are coming from. Kelsey is playing piano. Where is this full orchestra coming from? Also, again, it's a callback. Why is the audience full? Has no one ever seen an audition before? But everything works in Troy and Gabriella's favor because somehow they don't get in trouble. The set, the full orchestra they somehow have, the audience, everything combined together gets them the part on the spot. And of course, this movie ends in the most magical way possible, in the best ending sequence of any movie on Disney Channel, point blank, The Final Dance.
We're all in this together, and it shows when we stand.
I mean, does it get any better? The choreography, the messaging, the Michael Jackson moves from Ryan.
We're all here and speaking out with one voice. We're gonna rock the house.
Everything about this ending is serving high school, but most importantly, musical. Final thoughts. Kenny Ortega ate down with this movie. All right, Descendants was cool, but it will never beat High School Musical. Troy and Gabriella are just that couple, and you can't outdo the doers. I remember when Vanessa Ann Hutchins and Zac Efron, the actors playing Troy and Gabriella, broke up in real life. I was devastated. And you know what? I could talk more about this, but I'm sure you want to hear my opinions on the movie, not how their breakup shaped the person I am today. So anyway, every song, banger. Choreography, slay. Troy Bolton's flexed hands at all times, slay. I mean, maybe there could have been less scenes focusing on Troy and how he's conflicted between basketball and singing. I felt like they really honed in on that one and nothing else. But at the end of the day, you can't hate on perfection. I personally think this aged really well. I mean, minus the internalized homophobia and the siblings going out for romantic leads, that was just weird. But I honestly thought that this was great when I was 8 years old, and as an adult, I think it's pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and indulging me in this one. I had a really fun time with this. Please like, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to watch next. Did you really think that I would end this commentary with a dance number? Well, you're wrong. Together, together, come on, let's have some. I actually can't do this because of copyright. Bye.